Welcome back to Business Balls and Banter, and today we're joined with Jamie Kelly and Blair Glynn. We're only able to do an interview with one person at a time, so we're going to do a wee bit separate. So we'll start off with you, Jamie, and thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
No pressure, first one up.
So are you able to tell us a wee bit about your story? Like we were talking about it before, but it would be good for our listeners to understand a wee bit about yourself and your journey.
So I had a brain injury 10 years ago. It's called Chiari malformation, and then I developed syringomyelia and hydrocephalus. Not expecting you to remember
Big
them.
word.
Not
No.
basically, long story short, to kind of tell you about them, is my brainstem fell into my spinal cord by 17 millimeters. I didn't know anything about it. I was like just pottering about, and I was driving home for work, and I woke up on the side of the road. Like my car kind of deviated off the road. I was aware, like round about me, I was aware of what was happening, but I just couldn't see, and I didn't know where I was.
My God.
Didn't hit anybody and didn't injure myself, which was fortunate. But I just got out of the car and walked to the doctor's surgery and said, look, you're going to need to help me, something's happened here.
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me a letter and sent me to, I'm not going to name the hospital, but sent me to the local hospital, and they refused to see me. They basically said I didn't meet the criteria for a scan because it was unusual what had happened, and I was just to go home and chill out.
Oh my goodness. So when you woke up then, did it take a while before you could see again, or?
I don't know how long it was exactly. It was like a couple of minutes, I think.
Yeah.
It was
And see, at that point, what did you think? Because obviously this came out after it. Like, what did you think was wrong at that point? Did you think, oh,
I honestly don't know. Like I felt I was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
right, okay.
And I was like something's happened.
Mhm.
I can't pinpoint what it is.
Because it's not that's not a normal experience that somebody just wakes up the side of the road.
No.
Like,
No, and I was driving the car as well. Like
Yeah.
there was no
No.
warning or anything. It just went.
And no recollection of,
I could hear everything, so it was
Right.
like it just like my
In
eyes
a
had just
tunnel?
shut off. Aye,
oh my
like
goodness.
so when the hospital kind of refused to see me, I knew there was something wrong. So I was like, "Can you guarantee that I'm not going to die?"
mm-hmm.
And the doctor was like, "I'm an intelligent man. Trust me." And I was like, "I know myself. Like I trust myself that something's not right." So I got on the bus and went to the next local hospital, and I was like, "I'm not leaving until you scan me. Like I feel I'm going to die." So they scanned me, and then it was like I think it was like an hour or two sitting about in this wee kind of side room. They said they'd come back with the results, and I'd kind of dozed off. And I woke up with two paramedics at the bottom of the bed saying I was going into the Southern General. I shouldn't name the hospital, but they saved my life, so I'm quite happy.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, all right, what am I going in there for? Oh, just a wee check-up. And I was like, okay. So I got in the ambulance and the blue lights went on.
Oh,
And I
My
was like,
goodness.
I thought I was going for a check-up. They went, no, the neurosurgeons are waiting on you.
Oh my goodness.
how did you feel then?
I don't know. I
Shock?
genuinely, I
Yeah.
think it was still just like, all right, okay, just cool. Aye,
How
better
old
than
were
that.
you here at this point in time?
21.
Jeez.
I turned 22, so
Had you phoned any of your family or anything at this point?
no.
You just
So
like
nobody
went,
knows
something's
you?
not right, and just ported around the hospitals trying to get seen?
No.
My
No, I
goodness.
didn't want to worry him, do like,
Yeah.
it was, I sounded as if I was going mental as
Yeah.
well. Like, so I'm like, something's happened. Don't know what's happened, but something's happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's unusual. They're not want to see me. I need to be seen. And now I'm in the back of an ambulance.
And I'm assuming at this point in time you phoned your like family and
No.
that? Oh my goodness.
No, I waited until I was in the Southern. I was like,
Probably should let somebody
do
know.
me a favour, like to the surgeon. I said, do me a favour. Don't give me medical jargon. Just tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, your brainstem's fell into your spinal cord. It's shutting off the supply. When was the last time you ate? And I went, well, they fed me in the last hospital. And he went, right. And I was like, how? Problem? And he went, wee bit. So we've probably got about a 10-hour window. It says, worst case scenario, you phone and say bye to everybody. Best case scenario,
Oh man.
you kind of lose your eyesight if we don't operate. And I was like, right, you better operate then. So then I went through my phone and phoned I didn't just phone my family. I phoned everybody in my contact list. Like, see people that I'd fell out with and all that. And like people that I didn't speak to. I was like, I know you don't spoke to me, but I haven't got to die. Like, I want to leave the world knowing that my conscience is clear.
Why was the eating an issue? The fact that you just eaten?
Because of the anaesthetic.
Right,
So
okay.
if they were going to give me anaesthetic and they were going to operate, then when they put the thing down your throat to help you breathe, you can regurgitate.
Yeah.
So it was more like they didn't want complications.
Yeah.
But so they done the first stop and they put a drain in here to kind of drain the pressure, because my brain was the pressure in my brain was really high. So I had that in for 48 hours, and then I had another op. They took that out and I had another op, and they put a shunt in here, which kind of keeps me alive. So that drains the fluid, because the pressure's constantly high in my head. That'll drain the fluid into my abdomen.
And does that impact life in general? Like, even like when you talk about pressure in your brain, I always think about, like, can you go on an aeroplane? Can you, like...
I can go on an airplane. I can't go on roller coasters. I can't like go skydiving or bungee jumping or anything like that. Like anything like with G-force, like sort of pressure. Airplanes are alright because you're in a cabin and it's a pressurised cabin.
Would you want to bungee jump anyway?
If you're not missing much.
No.
No, I don't think so. It's terrifying.
See, I watched that. I watched like it on TikTok and that. I'm like, I fancy that. Like that.
You want to do what you can't do.
Aye.
We could make Emma do it.
No,
For you.
absolutely
That's
not.
a great shout.
Like, I think this would be really, Emma, this would be a really good idea.
We'll see what everyone thinks.
Aye.
So did they basically operate instantly? Like, that was you going into the operating room?
No, so they waited a couple of hours just to
Because the food?
Aye, because of
Right,
the food.
okay.
And then I say it was a couple of hours. They waited in sort of about 9 hours and then operated. And then it was like I've had 9 ops in total.
Oh my goodness.
So I've had 4 in my spine and 5 in my brain. Every op's been different.
Yeah.
The biggest one was they took the base of my skull, they took away, and took the top 2 bones in my spine away, to kind of alleviate the pressure from my brain stem pushing down. And then they went into my spine, and when you tamper with your spine, it comes with risks, and so they went in there, and I've been paralysed 3 times. So I was paralysed. The longest time I was paralysed was for 8 months.
Oh my goodness.
Was that no feeling your legs?
I couldn't move. For the waist down.
And at the time, did they tell you that's temporary, or did they tell you that could be permanent?
They didn't know. It was just, this is what's happened, and we'll try our best, but there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And I assume it's like you either get the operation and risk being paralysed or you die.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my goodness.
So they kind of came. It was like there's 97% chance you won't walk after the 3rd time, and I was like, nah. Like the first 2 times I refused. So they brought a wheelchair into the room, and I was like, who's that for? And they went, you. Like, well, you need to get about. And I went, nah, I can't. Pride setting, like, so I'd, like. But now I've always been quite stubborn, so that probably helped as well. Pride set in, and I was like, nah, like, they can sit there, but don't expect me to use it. And they were like, but you need to get about. And I went, I'll army crawl before I need to go in a chair.
Yeah.
And I did. Like, I lived alone at the time, and I used to get about, like, just army crawling, like, lifting myself up onto the worktop to try and. There's no other way.
Well, you continued living yourself during this time?
Aye, so I hadn't met my wife at that point, so.
Oh my goodness.
So I left myself, and like people had a key safe outside my house, so people could come in and that, and they did help out. But I was living myself, trying to just be independent. But spent a good bit of time in hospital. Refused to leave because they were like, you need the chair to leave the hospital. And I was like, there's a rehab unit down there. Like I could utilise that. There's no beds, so I was like, I'll stay here then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to walk. So the 3rd time I was paralysed, I decided that my goal was to do the Great Scottish Run. So I signed up while I was paralysed.
Oh my goodness. And how long is this Great Scottish Run?
5k, I think. 10k.
That's
5K,
amazing.
something like that.
My God.
So at this point in time, they're saying you're not going to walk when you're signing yourself up with the Great British Run.
I love the optimism though, and that's like this whole manifesting thing. Like, I will do that.
So my brother took a brain injury as well, and like his was like out of nowhere. So he was over in America at the time. We got a phone call just to say that he was found in a car park in a like puddle of blood. And we got told that there was no much point in coming over, like he wasn't going to make it.
Right.
My mum and dad flew over, but I was pregnant at the time, so I had to wait to get sign off from my insurance. But when we went over, like they said that he would never like walk, talk, eat anything again. And like, but my brother's like literally the most determined wee fucker ever. Like, so I think that's what you're saying, that when I'm hearing you, I'm like, that's exactly the same way as he was. Like, there's no way, like, when he came back and lived with us at the time, Marty was out in the street and like taking him round, and they were saying, oh, but he won't be able to do this, and he was not giving up on it. Like, he was, and I think you've got to have that. You've got to have that in your head, that no, like, you're not like defying my odds, or you're not telling me. And I would say that's that strength that he had, that you're talking about, like the mental strength to keep it. Obviously there was days of sadness and what's my life going to be like and all that, but to keep pushing through, and when people were saying no, like being like, no, you're not telling me, like, I'll do this. Like, I think that is absolutely massive.
Aye, that was pretty much it. Like the 5K, I think it was a 5K. And they were like, you won't do it, and I was like, no, I will. So I done it. But I ended up back in hospital.
Okay.
But I went in with the medal on and went, told you.
Yeah.
How long was that period from you signing up to actually doing the run?
It was 8 months.
Right, okay.
So I didn't give myself much time
Training.
I didn't train. Like
Did you not?
no, I ran and walked and ran and
Right.
walked. Like I done what I could.
Yeah.
So you ended back up in hospital with the medal.
Yep.
So what was life like after this?
Tough. Like I never expected how people would react. I lost a lot of friends.
Seriously?
Really? I just thought that would make people like
Gather
love you
round?
more.
No.
Like,
No,
see,
you-
when that happened with my brother, I felt like I always loved my brother before, but I don't think I appreciated him as much. And then when that happened, like, I literally now worship the ground my brother walks on. So I'm like, I mean, you lost friends over it.
I've spoke to them since and been like, why? Like, what did I
What
do?
happened?
And it was more to protect them, because they thought they couldn't. Like they
Avoidance.
thought of losing me and
Yeah.
avoiding me, and like I couldn't drive for a period, so it was like nobody came to pick me up because it was more hassle trying to get me out, and so it was tough. Like, but I think it made me realise like who was actually there. Like there was friends that brought my messages, checked in. I gave them the key code so they would just let themselves in and come and spend time with me. They still involved me. My mate ran an amateur team, and he kind of got me involved in the coaching because he knew that I couldn't do anything, but I could go and sit and give advice and stuff like that. The reaction to kind of people out and about as well, like you realise that people kind of just like when you're in like need of somebody, like people avoid. They don't want to, don't give up their seat in a bus, or they don't like. So you realise all the kind of things that you took for granted. Getting out of bed in the morning, tying your shoes, making a peace, like just simple things. Now I used to do mad things as well. Like I would make my dinner and then put it in the fridge, like not knowing, and then go, "Where's my dinner?" Like so, just daft things. Like that was tough. And then try to find a job again. That was nobody wants you.
Where did you work when that happened? Like, were they good with you, or?
I just finished my apprenticeship as
Right,
a
okay.
structural engineer, so I was kind of not able to do it.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a job at that point. Like basically it was, you're a health and safety hazard kind of thing. So I've done some volunteering with Bernardo's, kind of helping young people that are coming out of care and moving into houses. So
That's
just
what my
to
brother done as well.
was it? There's a lot of similarities here. So like help them like kind of live independently, and kind of share my experiences with them to let them know that life would be alright. Finding a job was really hard. Like you tick a box, they say you've got a disability, but it's just a tick box in my opinion. Like
100%.
nobody.
See, my brother done the opposite. Once he got to a stage, so he was actually with Bernardo's when it happened. So if it wasn't for Bernardo's, he wouldn't have had the insurance, because my brother didn't actually have his own, but Bernardo's had insurance for him over in America. So he was with him when he took the accident, but after that, he struggled to like maintain. Like he ended up setting up his own charity called Survivors Supporting Survivors. But he found the same with that as well.
It's tough. Like Bernardo's were really good, to be fair. Like they allowed me to like do different bits and pieces, got me involved, and then I kind of fell ill again. But I think that's the reason why it was hard to get a job, because they can't trust that you're going to be there if you fall ill again. So Bernardo's were good. They came and visited me when I was in the hospital and stuff like that when I was volunteering, and then I found the Brain and Spine Foundation because there wasn't any information on what had happened to me, and I couldn't find any information.
Yeah.
Because 1 in 300,000 people get it,
Oh my
so
goodness.
the research on it's pretty slim.
Mm-hmm.
Found the Brain and Spine Foundation and then started like doing some volunteering for them, and that was mainly English based. So I've helped bring it to Scotland. So there's like different regions in Scotland now have a hub where people can go and find information for like all different types of like neurological conditions in general. And then through that they've kind of allowed me to be involved in projects like redevelopment of the Neuro Hospital in Glasgow. So like I can give my opinion from a patient's perspective. So like I'm sitting in a room with all these like bigwigs for the NHS and like giving my opinion, which is not the same, because it's like
It's
this is for
needed
patients,
though, yeah.
like 'cause they're talking about lighting and all that. And I'm like, well, actually, the lights hurt my eyes,
Yeah.
you know.
But
So
you're future proofing for somebody else
Aye.
in the exact same thing. I think. It's-
so that's kind of in the pipeline at the minute. But I've been to all the consultations and all that, and then from the amateur team, I guess like that's where I got involved back in football. And luckily enough for me, one of the boys in the amateur team played for Paralympic squad. And
Oh,
then
wow.
that's how I kind of got involved.
So do you play for a team and the Paralympic squad, or is that just the one team?
No, it's just the one team. We do play, but it's not. We don't play in a team.
Right, okay.
When we're playing on it, we just like organise games. So like might be like we play our own individual games, and then when it's coming up to things, we'll play like other teams. We'll organise
Yeah.
it. So no, we just play for the Scotland's Cerebral Palsy and Brain Injury team.
Right, okay.
And am I right in saying that you've got to the final of the World Cup,
World Championships.
World Championships?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, we won it.
If you
You won it?
Yeah, we won it.
Amazing.
So what was like, tell us what that experience like from going from everything you've went through, being told you're potentially not going to walk again, and then to winning that. That's absolutely phenomenal.
Aye, surreal. I guess I still don't think it's kicked in. Like 2 years ago it was, but we got to the final a few years before that and got beat off Colombia. I think the pressure kind of got to us a wee bit. The word final, so we kind of had like a bee in our bonnet to go and do it. So it was in Barcelona, and we played Northern Ireland in the final. We'd kind of done well throughout the tournament. And when we got to the final and we scored first, we were like, right, okay,
That's it.
we're doing this. Then we scored again and again, and I was like, right. And I didn't play, I was on the bench, but the experience was still the same, like sitting there. And then it was like a couple of minutes to go, and like we were all standing up, and I still had my training kit on. I was like, I need to go full kit here, like
Absolutely.
where's my strap? So stuck it on, and then it just like the feeling of actually doing it
That's
was
amazing.
incredible. And like my kids' school had it on the telly and all that. Like they stopped school for the day to go and watch it.
Oh, that's so
like,
good.
yeah, like they were really good. So like now when I go into the school to pick the wins up, it's like,
You're the hero.
there's that guy, there's
Ah.
You're like the
and I'm like,
famous
I'm
one.
not really like
And how did you meet your wife in this like whole process?
So I met her in the hospital.
You were the doctors?
She's a trainee paramedic, but no, she was in for something similar. And there was a support group, and I met her in the support group. And she asked me for advice on how to help. Like she was suffering from headaches, like what I do to help mine, because I gave her advice, and then we just got chatting to her. So I'm not the best cook, but I was like, I'd make a good curry. Like, you want to come up for a curry?
I'll show you how to fix your headaches. Sorry.
That's brilliant. But you know, the best of it is like, I kept asking her, like, I was like, we should go on a date, we should go on a date, we should go on a date. And she's like, no, we're just pals. Like,
Oh.
and I was like, okay. And then when, like, my last operation, I I flatlined on the table, so like I needed defibbed, and I put her down as like my next of kin to the phone, and so it was meant to be, I think it was maybe 8 hours up, and it ended up being like 10, 11. So she was like pacing the ward and that, and they came back and told her, and she went, "If you pull through, I'll go on a date with you." And I was like, I had to die to go on a date with you.
That's just a typical woman.
Did you have a humanist as your like at your wedding when you get married?
Aye.
Can I just picture the story would have been amazing.
Aye, so I had to die. Had to get die to go on a date with her.
That is so cute though.
So, it's a bit extreme, though, is it? No?
You must feel that out every time you have an argument. Well,
Like, that's
100%.
extreme.
I do all the time.
love it.
So and then like when my 2 youngest kids were born, I was paralysed like the week after.
Oh
So
my goodness.
I get told the week before that things had progressed and I would need an op, and I was like, "Can you hold off?" Because like my wife's due to give birth. So they held off, and then there's pictures of me in the hospital with like a gammy hand, like feeding away, like for. Am I allowed to say that?
Don't know.
What?
I'm just laughing at you. Like, you're talking yourself,
Paul's
just
allowed to
laughing at
say
you.
that.
Felt the need to do the actions.
Am I allowed to say that?
Well, I'll just say aye
There is
anyway.
pictures of me doing it. So I've got my. I think he was like a week old, and I'm sitting like pure. So I still want to feed him and all. I didn't want to like,
Yeah.
you know.
And you're obviously then feeling like bad for your wife as well, because you're like, oh, but there's nothing you could do about it.
So the last time I was paralysed was 2019, and that was when my last kid was born, and I was paralysed in 2018, and then paralysed in 2015.
And then have they said what the like prognosis is for you going forward with it?
No, so the shunt lasts 20 years, so we're 10 years into that, and then I'll need another op. Hopefully won't, but potentially might. Used to get kind of checkups every 6 months, but now it's kind of, they're like, we're satisfied that we've done everything we can do, go and kind of live your life. If you need us, we're here. So I think I have like kind of lived, like I've achieved everything that I've wanted to achieve. Like I've worked in football at the top level down in England. Like I kind of broke down the barriers of somebody being disabled working in elite football. So I was coaching, done my kind of UEFA badges, and I was working down at AFC Bournemouth for the last, well, I only moved back up in October, and I was like to try and like work at like the B team and down and working up with the first team, like to do that is knowing that you're what you've came through and being told, you know, like that's kind of like I've done everything that I need to do.
Yeah.
So I came back up just because the kids needed me. Like living away in Bournemouth, you can't get any further down. But you know, grateful for the experience and like the clubs here kind of were really supportive. So I was like started at Stirling Albion, went for the Partick Thistle and then Hamilton Accies, and they all kind of supported the journey. So
That's amazing. And now you and Blair have got a new venture.
yes, so we went to the Euros in August last year. We didn't do too good, right?
Okay.
And we were kind of going through a bit of a rough patch, and we were kind of thinking about how we grow, like normalising like people with disabilities. And we looked about and there wasn't anything. And like our team are a kind of aging team, and there's nobody else. Well, there's a development squad, but they're still young. Like they're not. If you'd ask them to make the step, they wouldn't be able to because they're not developed enough, like in terms of physicality and stuff. So we were like, how can we, one, like normalise disabilities for the next generation and put everything that we went through to right? Because I obviously went through schools and I don't want to say this, but as a normal life. And then when I was an adult or a young adult, I had
That happened.
a kind of abnormal, kind of adverse. So, like, a lot of the boys in the team have lived with it their whole life, and they've experienced the similar things that we've experienced, but we've been more mature to deal with it. So it's like, how do you normalise that for kids? And my kids know me as dad, but they also know that I struggle
Mm-hmm.
with certain things, so they will like be like, I'll do that. Like, I've got your shoes out for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like, so it's trying to normalise things for everyone.
Yeah.
So we came up with the kind of, it's called the Resilience Partnership, and we built a kind of plan to go into schools and pilot it to, well, we started with S1s to S4s. So we thought schools would be the best place first before we try and take it into businesses, because we know it's a different kettle of fish. And if we can start them young, then when they go into the workplace, then it might be more inclusive for everyone. Because I think like having it on the walls, like, oh, the accountability, integrity, all that nonsense, that's just buzzwords.
Yeah.
And it doesn't actually live up to the reality. Because I've been for promotions, like in the football world, I went for a promotion, get denied it down in Bournemouth. The reason I get denied it was because I physically didn't tick the boxes for what they wanted. They wanted somebody that was an ex-player that was physically able and able to be a presence, whereas I was sometimes struggle when I walked funny and without directly saying it, that's what they were meaning. So it's like, how do you fix businesses? Like, I don't think you can.
That annoys me.
I know, me too.
That just makes me absolutely want to like leather them.
Aye. Well, that's what. Well,
Like,
that
tell them right now. I'll meet them George Square. These two will come to.
That's a scheme word coming out in here.
it's tough because like it really affected me. Like, because I was like, this is the first time I've actually
Especially
been
if you
shunned.
know that you're the right person for the job. Like, I can understand if it was like, see if it was a job where you actually physically couldn't do it, then there is an element you'd be like, well, that's not actually possible to, but that shouldn't have hindered something like that. Like,
Aye.
so I'm not okay with that. Like, see when it's somebody's like, nah, you're just not like ticking this box, but you could still do everything able within that job.
You want to know the worst part about it? They sent me for an OC health assessment to suitability at work,
Oh my goodness.
even though I was doing the job for a year.
My God.
So that's the kind of bit that we need to stop.
Yeah,
And
of course.
that's where me and Blair came up with, like, I'm sure Blair will share his experiences and they're similar, and we'd speak to a lot of the boys. Some of the boys struggle to, in the team struggle to speak. Some of them struggle to walk, and me and Blair have kind of, through this partnership thing that we're trying to pilot in the schools, we've met other people like out and about. And Blair met somebody last week, and I'll let him tell you the story, but like, it's actually sad, like how isolated everyone is, and you can't, you just get a job because you tick a box, but they don't actually care.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. It is about the caring, like about what do they want to do to actually help you guys as well. Like, so if you're going for a job and you're saying, oh, tick a box, it shouldn't be just about ticking a box. There's so much more to it, and what you can give and your skills you can add. Like,
Aye.
so
I think that's why loads of people go into like the care world. Though, and you said you're like working with people with mental health now, like, because lived experience is so important. Like, I suppose that's maybe why I went into the care world before moving, because I grew up with two disabled parents. Like, and even now I feel bad because I still get embarrassed about my mum's disability, because that didn't happen till I was like 13, and I was mortified. I was like, you're so embarrassing. It's not till you look back you go, I was actually horrendous. Like, but yeah, like lived experience is so good, like so important for people. But I do think that's why people go into care, isn't it?
Aye, like I think, I think that's why we targeted the schools first.
Yeah.
Like, to try and, especially first to fourth years.
Especially kids. Yeah.
I think it would be really good for you to go into like football clubs as well. Like,
Yeah,
see,
I think
I'm
so.
thinking of obviously like
She
we've got
Can.
like a football team called She Can. It's even giving like girls like what you're talking about just normalising it. Like I think that's so good. Like, going to schools, clubs, anything where there's kids that probably bully other kids, like because they might have something a wee bit different, and it is just about teaching them that, no, that's normal, what that person has to maybe go through and adapt to, and to feel like they fit in. So yeah, I think that's so amazing what you're doing.
Well, that's aim. It's like, because we got the kids to ask us questions at the end, so we done like an hour. Then we're like, you got any questions? And like, some of the questions, like, they didn't know what to ask, but they asked them, and it was like, I think one wee boy asked me, like, when you get told that you had 10 hours, how did that make you feel, and how did you choose the right way to go. And I thought that's actually a good way of that's a good way of thinking it. Like,
Yeah.
so then I was like, what would you choose first? So that it kind of gets them thinking. So that's the aim. Hopefully we can grow it, see where it goes. But
Get them along as you can.
I know.
oh,
that'd be
definitely
really
would come
good.
along. Like
I think
we
it's a great
would,
idea.
we would, I would more than happy to do it. Like we're trying to just use the young generation to set an example to the older generation. And
Yeah.
I don't know how businesses would take to somebody going in and going, I know you've got this equality thing here, but we're actually living it. And he's
I
only
think they
he's
should.
only
You're doing enough,
he's
yeah.
only ticking the box. He's only ticking all the boxes that you think. And
I'm going to meet some of my lenders today after this. I'm going to tell them that they need to reach out to you. It's
Aye,
like the
definitely.
big banks, like see within like the bank cultures where your big call centres and all that. Like something like that, like would be a perfect place for you to go like into and actually teach people. I think it's a great idea.
Even in terms of people being like neurospicy, like neurodivergent,
I know
like
what
I
you mean.
always think that people don't actually accommodate for, like, they might be managing this in this way because actually that their brain works like that, whereas people just get frustrated about it. I remember that in my last office, like there was a couple of different sort of personalities and things like that, and people would always be like, for fuck's sake, and you're just like, yeah, but that's because that's how they need to function, and that's how they need to process things, and that's how, and I don't think people are aware of that at all, never
Yeah.
mind like any other disability.
One of my, like, and this only happened, like, one of my most testing sort of, and she won't mind me saying this because what client came to me probably about 7-8 months ago, and she said my son's really severely autistic, and she said, so I can't have a run of the mill estate agent. I've been in my house for 20 years. I really need you to like explain to me on the phone so I can replay this all to my son, and then then we'll have you out. So it wasn't just and that's what normally would happen. We would go out and we would have this conversation, and it made me learn everything, and it made me go, right, okay, it's on his terms. So everything was on his term. He picked me because of my reviews. So that was one of the big things that was important to him, and it was the words in my reviews that got me out there. But also, what really pissed me off at the back of it is everything went so smoothly. So I was allowed to let the viewers know, this is what's going to happen. I've signposted everything for Dylan, and I also signposted everything for the viewers. So I wasn't allowed any more than 4 viewers. It had to be these certain days. I couldn't have, like, if somebody was like, oh, I want to come out right now, couldn't happen. Like, it had to happen these different ways. And it went so smoothly, but only because we just made whatever made them feel comfortable in doing it. And then it fell down at the last moment, right? And I'm very like, you should always be kind to people. I don't care what was going on. And they were collecting their keys from the other estate agent. And the other estate agent's, the client was actually a family member, and they obviously hadn't moved out in time. Now, part of the key collection process is once these keys are released, they're released. You're no longer theirs. Anyway, they were so rude. I had explained the full situation to them. They were so rude, distressed this guy, and literally I just thought, do you know what? This is absolutely ridiculous that these people are dealing with this. And so I went out the way just to try and say, by the way, just so you know, if you need that extra little bit of attention, if it comes to sale, because I'm a estate agent and it's my business, then I will always support it, because that for me was disgusting at the end of it. And I've reached out to that estate agent and said, this is absolutely shocking. Could not even entertain, like, I would have squared go to him at that point just because I was like, I told you about this. I told you how important this was. Like, even down to viewings, I would phone the other agents and be like, listen, they're coming out to see your home. Just so you know, this is what would probably be more comfortable for them. And I just absolutely protected them the full way, and it fell down at the last minute. So I totally get it. And I think we need to have more awareness and more support for people, especially like that.
We went to Florida like a few weeks ago, and our cousin's wee boy's autistic, and when they tried to sort out the plane, because he just like kicks the chair in front, and they separated her booking from the rest of the family, like, but it went wrong. The flight was cancelled, but because the flight was cancelled, they then put her on a flight herself with like our wee boy, and separated from the full family. And I'm like, you are not taking into consideration the effects that has to the full
To that
family.
person.
Why would he be separated from the rest of the family? Like, it's actually about putting yourself in their shoes and the parents' shoes, the rest of the family's shoes, and actually think, what can we do to help them rather than making it difficult?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it's crazy.
Aye.
But this must be all like sort of normal
You're
things
like,
for you
yep.
to be like, yep, that's my life.
Nah, it is, but it's not right.
One of the
No,
things
not
that you'll experience it with my brother, when my brother was in the chair, is the amount of people that park on the roads and like right across where there's no space for the wheelchair. Like, so my brother would be like trying to get to the shops and he couldn't get by, so you'd have to like bump down these big massive curbs with big potholes to try and get him round the car, and then there'd be cars coming the other direction. I was like, this is actually physically unsafe. Like, so that was only, my brother was only in the chair for maybe a few months, and I was like, that it does make you think of stuff that I would have been that person that just parked right over that space,
Aye.
path before.
Yeah.
So you're talking about parting. My biggest bugbear is I've got a blue badge,
Mm-hmm.
right? I put the blue badge on, and you get folk walking by going, you got a blue badge for? Then you get out the car and you walk normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and it's always like,
Older generation.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Uh-huh.
I've fought in the
They-
war and I deserve
they
a badge.
deserve that space.
Whereas I'm like, I've got a badge though. And then
Yeah.
I had one go, is that your badge? I'm like, let me see it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
none of your business.
I don't need to.
That's terrible though.
No.
Like,
And then like I noticed that during COVID, like I couldn't wear a mask because I've got one of the shunts. So I've got 4 shunts, and one of them goes into my lung. So like every time my lung like opens, it drains.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't wear a mask for that purpose, and like that just caused chaos. Like
Because you couldn't wear a mask.
yeah, with the older generation, you should have a lanyard on. I'm like, but why though?
Like, just to be like,
Like,
hi, I'm different.
Aye.
Like-
So I was like, I don't need a lanyard.
Yeah.
Like I just can't wear a mask.
why did I explain myself to you?
Aye. Actually, I was in Lidl's and my wife just walked away because I get so annoyed. like,
Happens to me.
ready to square go with this old guy.
Before we finish off with this part of it, how's your wife as well now? Because obviously she was in at the same time.
Aye, she's all right. She's not fine with year trained as a paramedic, so
Okay.
she kind of she's all right. She gets headaches and that, but she's like there's nothing that she won't need ops and stuff like that.
Well,
so
good.
so it's good in that sense. She had like one op a few years ago just to check
Yeah.
things.
So you're like, I'm one up, I've had more ropes than you.
I died for you.
Died for a date. It's been so good listening to your story, and I'm excited to hear more of the adventure and stuff from Blair and more about the team and his
thanks for
input on it.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much for
Appreciate
coming
it.
on.
so much.
We've loved it.
So, hi Blair, it's good to have you here.
Hello.
Well, we were obviously just speaking to Jamie there about the resilience partnership, and it'd be good if you could maybe tell us a wee bit about your opinion on that, your thoughts on it, and how you got to that point.
Well, like Jamie says, it was in August that we came up with the idea, and really, so I suffered my stroke at 11 years old, so I had to go through
Goodness.
high school with it, and some of the words that kids use now, they don't know they're using the words, but they hurt
Yeah.
sometimes. And I played football and everything, and I was called every name under the sun. And it does hurt a bit, but it's just to tell kids that the words that they use can hurt people, even if they're not meant to hurt people, depending on what they've got going on in the background.
People always have to be aware of like other people's like the consequences of words and stuff, because other people what they've got on and what they've been through.
Yeah. So
Did you play for like the school team and stuff like that? And
so I didn't play for the school team till maybe 4th, 5th year.
yeah,
Because so my stroke happened when I was 11. So I was in primary 7. It was April, and I was just moving up to high school in August.
Which is even more terrifying
it is
anyway.
And
as a
it's,
primary
I mean,
7-year-old.
it's scary enough going to high school, but going to high school, just having a stroke is
And did that
scary as hell.
affect, like, because I'm guessing I've never seen anyone younger with a stroke. It's always been somebody that's been a lot older that's had one. But it normally does, like, from what I've seen, affected, like, speech and walking. Did it affect everything with
Yep.
yourself?
Aye, a whole lot. So my first 3 years maybe, I was just trying to hide into the walls.
Yeah.
Because I was right-handed, happened to my right-hand side, so I had to switch to left-handed, and my writing in first year, start of second year, was just a mess. So we try to copy doing everything the teacher says and take it home that night and just look at it and just like,
What did I
can't
do?
even read it. Can't even read it.
And obviously Jamie spoke about how he lost friends through it as well, but he was an adult. But how did your friends react to it? Like,
Exactly the same.
yeah.
Exactly the same, because we're moving to high school, people didn't want to say, I know him, he went to my school, and it just feels like you're on your own.
Isolated.
Totally isolated.
on your own.
Like, did you feel different, like, from before, or did you still feel the same in yourself?
I'd say I felt different straight after my stroke, because obviously I was different, but I knew everything that happened to me, and I just felt like the boy sitting next to me or the girl sitting next to me didn't have to go through that. Why did I have to go through that?
Like
Yeah.
angry.
Aye, really, really angry. And it wasn't until 22, 23 that the anger just lifted as soon as I joined the team, because you see other people with cerebral palsy or brain injuries have the same struggles as you, and you realise I'm not the only person suffering with this. That I used to just go to school, then go in my house. Didn't go out, didn't do anything until maybe the end of second year, start of third year. And if I did go out and play with him, it was with my wee brother and his friends.
Yeah.
Didn't have them on at that time.
Oh my goodness.
That's so horrendous. And even when you think about like the parents of the other kids, you think like why would they not have spoke about that or encouraged it, or like you don't want to feel like people are forcing their kids to be friends with you, but ultimately you'd be hoping that somebody would be going, no, that's still Blair. Like he's still the same person.
Yeah, but like you, they've not heard of anybody that young having a stroke. So they're a bit like, how
How
did
this happen?
how did that happen?
And how did they know how it happened? Did
Nope. So they think when I was born, I've got a vein in my neck that is slightly smaller than the vein in the. So vein in the left hand side of my neck is slightly smaller than the vein in the right hand side, and I think that just rolled over for a second, stopped the blood getting to my brain, and caused my stroke.
And where were you when that happened?
So it was a Saturday morning, 8:30 in the morning. Got up, had my breakfast, fight with my brother. The door goes about 9 o'clock. My mate asked if I can go out. So I went up to the park. And you know the bouncy things made for wee ones?
Yeah.
Just playing on that, and next second just happened. So I fell back and my head was being dragged through the bark, and my mate came across and says, Blair, you okay? Blair, you okay? And I can remember just opening my eyes, looking up and just laughing at him. And he says, Blair, I'm going to get mum. And I was like, just laughing at him again.
So you were still sort of conscious, but
I was in and out of consciousness. Then I can remember just thinking to myself, I've got to get out. So I was going in and out of consciousness. Now, I only stay about 500 yards. Well, stayed 500 yards away from the park. So my friend ran down and I managed to, I don't know how I done it, but I got out of it and I army crawled across to the edge of the park. And my friend and my mum got me up on their shoulders and dragged me into my house. Sitting in my house, and I was just sitting like this, feet straight out in front of me, and just kept falling over to my right hand side, drifting in and out of consciousness. And it was just...
your mum must have been absolutely beside herself.
Aye. So my mum had phoned the doctor, and she phoned my uncle. My dad was working. My dad was a fireman at the time. So he was day shift that day, and my uncle came, opened the door, and said, "What have you been up to?" And I just laughed at him and unconscious again.
Were you able to talk when you
Nope.
said how you were laughing? Were you not able to
No.
talk? No.
I was just able to smile and and then just conscious.
And your mum probably wouldn't even think at that age that it would have been a stroke. You would have
No.
probably thought so many other things. I bet that wasn't one of the things that just jumped to your head. Cause
Well,
you just
no,
wouldn't.
because I was that young. But my gran had a stroke maybe 2 years earlier. And as soon as the doctor came in and he was testing me, he must have tested for a stroke or something like that. And she says, I think I know what's wrong with him. I think I know what's wrong with him. But I wasn't aware that the doctor had even came in the room because I was obviously unconscious. Next thing I can remember is being dragged out, well, not dragged, pulled out on a bed to the ambulance, me waking up, laughing. And then I can remember being in the ambulance, my mum sitting at the end of my bed, just praying and hoping that I'd come back, and me just laughing. Then I can remember stopping at the hospital, opening doors. Well, my dad opened the doors and being like, exactly the same as my uncle. What you been up to? And me just laughing at him and falling unconscious.
Oh man.
So next thing my dad tells me was I went to intensive care and my dad's sitting, doctors, nurses all around me, and my dad's obviously heard somebody's last breath and it's raspy and everything like that, and he thought I took my last breath.
Oh gosh.
So he was up out of his seat and it took like 2-3 doctors to sit him back down and like, no, it's all right. It's not his last breath.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's got to be fine. Well, didn't say he's got to be fine. Just says he's still living. You know?
They do tell you the worst in these ICUs, don't they? Like, I think they prepare you for the worst and then the worst more. Like, so that your parents should have been massively prepared.
Like,
well,
I
not
was
prepared, but they would have over prepared them for what could have happened.
Like, I was in intensive care for a month. Couldn't talk, couldn't speak, couldn't walk.
Do you remember that? Do you remember being there? And
bits of it. I can just remember some bits. I can remember just waking up and just turning my head and just seeing my dad just sitting in the chair. Like sometimes he was sitting, sleeping, or just sitting, doing crosswords or reading the paper or something like that. But my dad was always there.
Yeah.
And like my mum was there most of the time, but she had my wee brother to look after. So it must have been difficult for my wee brother as well. But luckily I come from quite a big family. And my aunties and uncles and my gran and granda were always there just to look after them. But it affected the
What
family.
about your friend you were with that kind of went and got your mum and stuff? Did you stop speaking to him and stuff as well? Did you stop speaking to yourself?
We grew apart. So first of all, maybe June, I went into my school in a wheelchair, and I don't know why I went into school, but I think it was just maybe tell the MC that I was still, I was still moving about, I think, and try and get them used to seeing me in a wheelchair, because nobody had a clue that I was going to be able to walk or do anything again. So I went into school, and I can remember just sitting there, and I think I was there for about half an hour, but it seemed like forever. And you're just sitting there and you're just like...
And everybody would have been looking at you or like...
Everybody was, and then I was just like, get me out of here. Get me out of here.
So uncomfortable.
Like, if I could, I would have wheeled myself out, but I couldn't because I could only use one hand. So I could only spin in circles.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like,
that's
not. But it was scary. But we drifted apart. He kept talking to me, and he still talks to me now. But we've just our
I
lives.
suppose that would have maybe just been a natural thing that happened from high school.
I think it might have been. But he was there, like first, second, third year, fourth year.
That's good. There would have probably been a bit of trauma there for him as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Because so he helped my mum get me into the house, and then he just slipped away. I didn't see or hear him or know where he went, but he just slipped away. And like my mum and dad kept in contact with him all the time, just to tell him how he was doing and things like that. But
because they would have probably been, as a parent, thankful to him as well for like being there and running to save you as such. Yeah,
I know. Well, I'm still thankful that somebody was there.
Because even when I think of it, like primary 7, it's quite a reactive, like, I need to go and get help here. Like, because if you are laughing, etc., then he's probably not been like, you'll be fine, you'll get up in a minute. It's like, I'm going to go and get my mum or your mum.
And I'd still say I'm now. I laugh and I joke and everything like that. But for that time, for it just to kick in and say, no, I need to go and get help. And for him to run and get help was a lifesaver.
I can picture like my oldest probably just laughing, being a bit like
get up.
stop being an idiot. Like, what are you
Aye.
doing? Like,
Aye.
rather than
Aye.
actually
That's
being
why
like,
I said that, because I was like, Ashley would be no good saying that.
Aye.
I think it is like you put yourself automatically in like a parent's position with that. Like I can't even imagine if that happened to like one of the girls and how you would react, especially at such a young age. Like when my brother had his, he was like 35, so he was
Right.
an adult. He was with his partner at the time, and I just can't imagine. Like I've got a youngest that like is going to be 10. It's just not far from that. It's
Well, I've got 2 boys, and my oldest is 10, going to be 11 on his birthday, and
that's so
I was able-bodied up until 11 years old.
Did you see before it happened? Did you have any like crazy headaches or?
No.
Nothing, no signs, no
No.
symptoms.
Nah, nothing at all.
Is there any sort, or do you have any sort of, and I know obviously it's not hereditary, is it, or
No.
anything? Like any sort of, oh gosh, when you see your son now and you think he's coming up to your age and
I worry about him.
yeah,
Worry about him like hell. But you've just got to let him go.
yeah.
And it's not
Experience.
hereditary, so
Aye.
no matter what you worry about, it's not going to change that
I know.
because there's nothing that's going to.
I know.
But as a parent, you're just worried in general.
Aye. And his mum, who's my ex now, she's worried about him as well. Like
Yeah.
she's just, she's phoned me and text me and it's like, are you sure nothing's got to happen to him? I was like, nothing will happen to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's happened to me.
Mhm.
I've been told by the doctors it's 1 in 1,000.
Mhm.
It's likely to happen to your sons or
Yeah.
anything like that. But aye,
Mhm.
it's scary. It was
Yeah.
1 in 1,000 to happen to me. It was just my unlucky day.
Oh gosh, that's
And then
horrendous.
what age? So that happened to you? That you went up to high school. The
Yep.
first few years must have been super hard. At what age did you join the football, which then made you feel part of something again?
It wasn't until it was 2010. So that was
15 years ago.
16.
Yeah.
Well, so it was. By the way, can I just say my daughter was born in 2010? I'm like,
Aye, 15, 16 years ago.
But at what point did you start? Obviously, you'd mentioned there, like you were in the wheelchair and stuff. At what point did you start like walking about more and stuff, and not relying on your wheelchair? And
So I was out the wheelchair by the time I went to school.
oh, amazing!
So
when you went back.
I put that down to my family's influence.
Yeah.
Because if I was told to do something I was seeing physiotherapist,
Mhm.
the occupational therapist, the speech therapist, any kind of therapist that you want at that time. And my dad and my mum were taking everything that they said and making sure that
Yeah.
I done it
Uh huh.
to the letter.
Strictly.
Aye.
And at that age, you would have needed pushed
Yeah.
because you were too young to know yourself and have probably the mental strength yourself to know, right, oh no, I need to do that. You need your parents at that age to
Yeah.
be the force behind
Yeah.
it.
And there was times where you're just absolutely knackered.
Yeah.
But my dad just wouldn't give up.
Mhm.
It was like me and my dad have had fights and everything about it. And I'm just like, no, I'm tired. My dad's been like, no,
I don't care, you're doing
you're
it.
doing it.
Mhm.
Oh, it's your
I'll-
benefit.
Aye, I'll stay here until you do it.
Mhm.
And like when I was 14, 15, my dad had said to me, like, when you're 18, I'll leave you alone.
Mhm.
But until you're 18, I've just got to keep on
I
your
love
case, on
that.
your case.
I was actually just
And I was like-
thinking about like the teenage years there, because like I always think like my oldest now just turned 13 like last
Mhm.
week, and I think, oh gosh, we've had a hard year, like the family's broke up and he's hormonal and he's went to high school and that's horrendous, but you've had this on top of all those, and I think in that stage you go, you don't care about anything else, you only care about yourself, you don't particularly care about what your family say because your parents are stupid, like and then you've had something so major on top of that. How did you like get through those teenage years and like
I don't know. I just locked myself away in my room. But
Yeah.
my dad would be up there like every hour and a half just
Yeah.
to check on me,
Check in.
Mhm.
check on me and make sure I was still breathing, one,
Mhm.
and to see what I was doing and have I done this, have I done that, have you finished your homework, have you done this for the physio, have you done that for the physio, like because I was still going back into hospital.
Mhm.
It started off once a month.
Mhm.
Then as the years moved on, it got down to like once every 3 months and once every 6 months.
Mhm.
Then ended up just once a year. I needed to go in, but I was still needed to go in and do stuff for the physio, do stuff for the occupational health. Speech therapist, that kind of ended after maybe 8-9 months. And because she was just teaching me things that I needed to say and how to say them. And once I got that, it was talking became
And
natural.
how did you feel like going from school into like adult life where you're having to apply for jobs and working and things like that?
I hated it.
Did you?
Absolutely hated it. Because like Jamie said, so I didn't start off by ticking disabled box because I didn't feel disabled. I didn't get my blue badge until maybe 5 years ago. Didn't get.
Was that stubbornness, like of you saying, I'm not doing that, I don't need that?
Yeah.
Aye. I was asked by the doctor, the neurologist, right, I was lying in my bed and he came round and asked my mum and dad and asked me, he says, right, do you want me to fill in a slip that'll get you disabled money and get you a blue badge? And I was like, no, I didn't need one. I didn't need it. I wish I did at the time because I would have got quite a lot more. But I didn't do it because I wasn't disabled.
In your
in my
head.
eyes. But the older I've got and wiser I've got, if I'm wise, I need it, and I don't need it, but looking into the future, I probably will need it. Like I could end up back in a wheelchair or anything like that.
It's that transition between I don't need anybody or anything to it's all right to accept help. Like,
and that's really a big message for what you guys can tell these younger people is like to accept that sometimes you do just need a wee bit of help, or it's maybe not something to be as embarrassed about that you had in your head, that you were kind of not like, no, I'm not this and I'm not that. It's actually okay, and you've like went through a really hard time, but hopefully with education, especially with stuff you are doing, and hopefully other people wouldn't be as mean and like more accepting of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to take help, but it's also good to have that stubborn brain that says, no, I'm doing that.
Yeah, it's the balance, isn't it?
Aye. And I think growing up through teenage years, I would say I was more stubborn than I'm now. I'd say maybe about 10 years ago, I became like chilled out and everything because like 2010, I started playing for Scotland. 2012, I was playing in Paralympics.
Amazing.
It was just unbelievable. But even then, I was still stubborn as anything. And like, how many times have been sent off? About 3-4 times.
Oh, really?
Aye.
Is that where you feel the most happiest when you've been with the football?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you were meaning when he was sent off. I'm like, likely not. He was probably raging.
Raging every time I was sent off. But happiest playing football.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you step over the white lines, you didn't feel disabled or anything. But boys have got the same difference. And it's competition. It's you against a man that you're marking or helping somebody else towards the same goal.
What position do you play?
Centre half, centre back. Aye.
You're quite a big guy. You've got to be quite big for a centre half.
Aye.
Are you going to go over to the World Cup in America?
We're not. Well, I'm not going across the World Cup, but we're going across to America to play in the World Cup later on this year. So in October.
Whereabouts is that?
Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
Oh, brilliant.
So aye.
That'll be so good.
It will be.
And do you both still play? I know Jamie had mentioned earlier he was on the bench like 2 years ago. Do you both still play, or do you have more?
Well, I've been on the bench relatively quite a lot more now as I get older, but I still want to play and I still can play, but as Jamie says, there's not really young people coming through, but the young people, or the young couple of people coming through that are really good play in my position, and I'm more than happy to step aside and say, look, on you go. But
and do you hope to have a role within the team when you're not playing anymore?
Yeah. So I've told my manager and all that, like, I want to keep helping out with this team, and we're supposed to be getting a girls team started.
Amazing.
So I have put myself forward to manage them and
Amazing.
help them out. But
Well, that's the thing, that there is going to be younger generations that will be wanting the same as what you've got, and that escapism. So
yeah,
that to have that like transition that they can then look up to you guys, like
Yeah.
it makes sense just to go for that and build on what you've got.
yeah, and I think it'll help as well that I've played the game
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
as well, and they can ask me questions about anything really. Like it could be home life, it can be football life, it can be absolutely anything. How I got through it and any information that I've
Relatable.
got, or
Yeah.
I think that
help.
escapism is probably the biggest thing, because that you could even tell when you're talking about it how your face like glows, like you can tell your passion for it, and it must have just been so good for you to be able to just go and feel free and play with people that you're not being judged and stuff. So with so many other kids that will feel the same, and if they could just get into it, I'm guessing they don't need to experience in football or they need to know, they could just be beginners to come and join.
because we've got like the development squad, the squad for kids and everything that we're
There's a
trying to
grassroots there as
aye,
well. That's
trying to put it out there and
Mm-hmm.
get more people. But my life in general, like through the teenage years, I was still playing football and that.
Love
but obviously, so my strokes caused, it's right in my right hand side
Mhm.
that it happened, and it caused me to run with my hand in like this, and people have called me names for that and everything like that, and it's just like you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
I've been called a pirate once because I've walked with a limp, and I
Oh
was
my
just like,
goodness.
I like that, but you,
Uh-huh.
you didn't need to.
Yeah.
You didn't need to.
Kids
do
are
that.
mean in general. They'll just say
Aye.
anything. Like
Yeah.
Marty plays football and he's always a baldy bastard. I literally just think they will. But it is about just choosing your words wisely and
Aye.
how that will affect somebody. Like,
But I get that you can't always use your
Mhm.
words
Mhm.
because it just comes out just off the top of your
I,
head.
th- I think it's so hard to like regulate, and especially as
Aye.
a child when you're frustrated or like it's hard to regulate your emotions, and it often comes out in the worst way. Like
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
that is probably one of the difficult things, is because it's highly unlikely that they mean what they're saying.
I know.
Like,
I know.
but it's just not acceptable
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
any level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
And it wasn't until after the game I was like, wait a minute, he called me a. And then I would think about it, run through my head
yeah.
all that
Yeah.
night and all the next day and things
Mhm.
like that.
And did you ever feel excluded from the team because of your disability when you were growing up?
Yes. So straight after my stroke, I went back to the team that I'd started
Mhm.
playing for, and we had three people that took the team,
Uh-huh.
and one of them just was like, "Why play him? He's disabled."
Oh my goodness.
Oh my
And I
God,
was
I
just
think your
like-
dad wanted
You
to
need to
beat
get
him
out there
up.
and beat
Well,
them
I think
up.
my dad did. But
Good.
but I was just like, right, I'll leave this and move to another team, just because it was just
I
like,
hate that.
no.
Yeah, that's horrendous. You should have.
Aye.
See, my wee boys team, he's had 2 team members who are disabled.
Mhm.
The 2 teams that he's been at. And it's not so much that it's celebrated or anything like that, but it's more so that they're very important players in the team.
Aye.
And I love that.
Aye.
And like, I think there should be more of that. And I hate the fact that you've been that young boy and
Aye.
that guy. I hope that. Aye, he's
But-
getting battered.
But he's taking
It's like,
everyone.
I will like,
Messy Becky's
everybody line up George Square now.
But
I'm not even normally like this.
Are you on your period?
so I went back and I'd only get like 5-10 minutes at the end of the game, and it was just like, what's the point of me going down to
Like a
training?
pure
Yeah.
sympathy
Aye.
time?
Mhm.
Like,
And I put myself about and everything, but it was just, I think it was because I was disabled that
yeah.
I just gave 5-10
Mm.
minutes,
Mm.
No.
Just for it to
Just-
tick a box, basically.
tick a box. Aye. And like Jamie says, I'm sure it's just ticking the boxes, and people take you for an interview and all that, and then unlucky somebody else got the job because of
Yeah.
more experience or something like that. But
Where is it you work?
I'm actually an SFA, which is a Johnny at a primary school.
I
So
thought
it's
you were
lawful
going to
counsel.
mean like the SFA, and I was like, and I
I
had
know.
that pure song in my head that I'm not going to sing. But I was like, really?
So with the business then, so he's obviously kicked this off in August. So if we've got any listeners that like I've got businesses that or anything that you guys could go in and really like make a difference to their work environment or their workforce, what would it, is there any specifically or any kind of target sectors or anything at all that you would really fit in nice with?
As Jamie says, probably the schools. I think it's really important that we get to the schools to tell the younger generation because it's easier to change a younger mind
Perspective, yeah.
than change an older mind. But we could go, like I've worked in banks, I've been a bookie, I've worked everywhere. But we could go anywhere and just give a talk or tell people what it was like for us being in that situation and having to grow up and not have anybody to talk to it about. Because if you wanted to talk about it, like people become interested in my stroke once I tell them, oh, I can't do that because I've had this and this. Or wait there, I'll just open my hand and they're like, how you got to open your hand? And then you can tell them about your stroke and everything. But I think I was embarrassed and didn't want anybody knowing about my stroke, especially in my teenage years or my early 20s.
When you're so impressionable, aren't you? Like you're so influenced by others.
Aye. And it's just like, I'll just hide away. Like I used to go to clubs and everything with my mates and everything, and I used to just sink away back into the corner. And it was brilliant because it was dark in the clubs and everything, and you just felt, all right, I can just sit
you're
here.
there, but also like just hiding.
Just
still.
take a step back.
Yeah.
Take a step back, aye.
I think it's amazing though that you are like just out there and trying to make a difference and show the impact of.
I think we've both got confidence in our disabilities now. It's became apparent because, like, before I meet MD, I'll say, look, I've had a stroke. It happened when I was 11, and I'll tell them the whole story.
Yeah.
And just to make sure you've still talked to me or you've no qualms.
Is this on
if-
like Tinder and that, you mean?
Well, aye. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge.
Bumble and Hinge,
Grindr.
right, okay. Grindr, whatever floats your boat. I quite like the open mind, isn't it?
So also if you're single at the moment?
Unfortunately, yes.
So also not only if you've got a business, it's like
Oh,
if you're single.
Any single friends out there?
The thing is, like, I feel like I'm genuinely not coming on to you, right? But you are like a good looking guy as well. So like, see what you were saying, you're like hiding away in the like dancing. You
Emma would have
probably
scoped you out.
no, but like I feel like
Target.
you wouldn't have actually needed to. So probably that would have been in your head, which I do understand because you would be like, oh, I don't want people to judge me or whatever. But you probably would have just been dancing and you're just something to me that was like your predator, like just like that's what I mean. I don't actually think that
Marty's
I feel like
left the room.
my husband's actually left the room right now, and I just look like I'm totally coming on to you, and I genuinely don't mean that. But this was meant to be a compliment. Now I've just spiraled, so I'm just going to stop. Okay, right, let's change the subject. Now I feel like I'm getting embarrassed.
It was like that because growing up, like my shoulders weren't straight or I was slightly over to my left hand side, and I thought everybody could see that because people in the hospital can see that. And I thought, right, so that means everybody
but
all in the
actually
world can see it.
probably
But
nobody would have
No,
noticed.
no. But because I've been told that, I'm thinking, oh,
I need to let them know.
I need to, or I need to hide away.
Overcompensate.
The thing that I really hate the most with my brother he's got like a limp, especially when it gets cold, so he drags his leg. But people won't let him in his taxi because they say he's drunk. Like he slurs these words a lot and he'll struggle to get them out, especially once again when he's cold. And they'll say, we're not serving you at the bar, and he's like, no, I'm actually like fine. Like he's like, or even if he's ordering a coffee, they'll be like, are you drunk? And like he says he sees people looking over, and it really bothers me because I'm like that. Like he has to explain himself all the time for something he shouldn't have to explain himself about.
It happens quite a lot. And then so I'll maybe drag my leg even if I've had maybe 3 or 4 pints, I start to maybe drag my leg
Yeah,
or
his gets way worse when he's had a drink. And
Aye.
when he was just recovering, I took him to a Rangers Celtic game. And actually looking back, my mum went mental at me, but it was literally like real, like proper and real recovery stage. And I was like, I bought us a ticket for the Old Firm. And he's like, all right. So I took him, and it was like Rangers scored, and all these people behind like, jumped on him. And I'm like, don't jump on his head. I'm like trying to like push people off. But I fear got him so drunk, and like he ended up being sick in the taxi. And he was like, Emma, my mum phoned me next day. She was like, Emma, why would you do that? Like, he's already vulnerable. And he was like, because he like was drunk, and he was like really unsteady in his feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I felt so guilty. Like in my head, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to spend the day with my brother.
But it can help in other ways because
Yeah.
like you can, well, I can drag my leg whenever I want, and then you're walking into somewhere that only disabled people can walk or stuff like that, or like Jamie was saying, like people look at you if you park in a disabled bay, you just get out and just drag your leg, and they're like, all right, aye.
But you shouldn't have to do that
Aye.
though. Like
Aye.
you genuinely
Aye.
shouldn't.
But maybe if you just can't be arsed to the
Aye.
looks of
I
the
know.
chat that day, you just go,
Oh.
fuck you. You're not dragging your
Here we
leg.
go. But aye.
So, yeah. It's been so good having you both on and hearing about your stories. And if you got socials, it's like the Resilience, got any socials that you can plug or a
I
website?
can't
Or
remember, but I'm sure Jamie can.
Jamie, what's
Jamie, give us a shout.
well, we'll tag you
Instagram,
anyway.
Right.
TikTok, the Resilience Partnership.
Aye.
Yeah, that'll be good to get that out there. And
Aye.
it's been amazing and like, I suppose like eye-opening having these on, and so inspiring to just still be doing what
Yeah.
you are doing. And I'd love
Aye.
to come along to a game and watch you
Yeah,
guys.
me
Like,
too.
Aye.
where is it
Yeah,
you training
absolutely.
stuff?
We're training at Bonus.
Well,
Just
that's
Is that
fine.
miles away?
It's not bad.
Where's that?
You should say that's quite far. It's like Grangemouth.
Is it?
Grangemouth,
How far
just
is it?
outside Grangemouth. Next to it, Grangemouth. Nowhere
Aye,
near
aye,
it.
aye, it's near it.
You
knows
don't
all the
actually know,
locations.
Blair. You were like, yeah, just there.
I just type it in and aye, there we go.
Sat nav takes
Sat
it.
nav.
What is it, like an hour from here?
That's not an hour.
Is it
45
Edinburgh?
minutes.
Right, okay, fine.
Okay, we'll come. Invite us.
No,
Right.
let us know when you've got a
Maybe.
game, even if it's against like each other or whatever, and we'll definitely come along. That'll be great.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we'll
Yeah,
support you.
thank you so much to
course.
both of you for coming on.
No
It's
bother,
been
thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed this episode, then please like and subscribe on YouTube.
And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review on Spotify.
Bye.
Bye.